Okay, great day in Little John. Just a remarkable regular season, 26-5, 18-2 in the ACC. I'm really happy and proud of our team for all their hard work and the staff, the job they did. It's hard to be that consistent. We've done a lot of really good things. Like today, we won a game with our defense. We've won games making threes. We've won games posting. This team has done a lot of really, really good things for a long period of time, and so I'm just really proud of them. And today was fun to share in that memory and moment with all those seniors. Obviously, Viktor was emotional coming out onto the court, and that's does my heart good to see that because it shows how much somebody cares. And in this day and age right now, we all question how much kids care, and with all the things that are involved, it's not easy to have a true team, and I'm proud to say that we do. So, questions for me?
You mentioned the chemistry that you have with Jaden and Viktor coming in as transfers and how they just fit right in. What's the key to that? Is it having guys like Chase and Ian to bring them into the
I think it's a lot of things. I think it's good people. Obviously, the guys that you recruit are good people. And then I think you have, people in your program that, are high character folks as well, and obviously make these guys feel welcome and help them adjust. And then, for a staff, it's about finding guys that you recruit and telling them the right things, being honest with them so that when they get here, what you've talked about is what it is. And so I just think that we've done a good job with that as a staff and as a program, and certainly our community is terrific. The way that they treat the athletes, and because of it being the nature of Clemson being this small town, you have so much more interaction, and I think that that's what makes this place so special. It's one of the things that I love about it, and I'm grateful to our fans and certainly the way our team for the way that everybody comes together.
Brad, do your guys have the right perspective in that, this is a great regular season, but there are other things out there we want to chase and achieve?
Yeah. Obviously, it's hard during these seasons because it's like, a month before we were playing Duke, everybody kept talking about the Duke Carolina weekend, right? I mean, media, fans, friends and family. We're coming. I had buddies from Indiana that, hey, we're coming for the Indiana or for the Duke Carolina weekend. Make sure you give us a couple tickets. That was like a month in advance. Make sure that they got them. So you have to deal with that. Then it's like, all right, you got to finish the regular season, right? And everybody wants to talk about, hey, you got a chance to, whatever, maybe play for a regular season championship. But what's hard about that is you got to then play every week. You're playing 2 games, all right? And to be consistent in your performance is challenging, and it takes a mature group. We have that. But certainly there's, one of the things we talked about is we were playing during the season is we wanted to try to win the regular season, and then obviously we want to do well in the ACC tournament and NCAA tournament. So, I'm optimistic that we'll, do that.
Brett, I think it gets lost in the mix when you have such a successful season. Where has this team improved the most in your eyes over even just the ACC schedule?
I don't know. I think it's more just like feeling comfortable with each other and with me and how we're doing things. And maybe it's making a few adjustments within a game. I think it's kind of that more than it is, hey, our rebounding got a lot better or our three-point shooting or whatever it is. I think it's just an overall feel and a joy in playing with each other that, it's funny. I said that to at one of the timeouts. I can't remember what it was, 8 minutes to go or 10 minutes to go. And they might have had a little run there. And, I don't know if it was 12 or 14. And it's, the game's not quite over, but our guys kind of looked almost like they were tired, had a little pained expression. And I was like, hey, man, smile. Like, it's our last 8 minutes in Little John this year. Like, let's enjoy this. Like, let's play hard, but let's enjoy this. And, by and large, our guys have. And, that's what's so good about it. They're such a good group, and that's why it's been fun to coach.
Was tonight sort of indicative of what you're talking about with this team, that your 2-star players don't have that great of a night, yet you still win by 18 points?
Yeah. I mean, these games are hard for players and rhythm, and you want to make a basket, and like Chase couldn't quite get going, and Ian didn't really get going. But yeah, they did a lot of other things very well in the game. They both guarded well. They both kind of ran our stuff really well and kept us in a good place. They just didn't score. But, yeah, we have enough other guys that can make plays to do that. Obviously, Viktor had a big game, and Zachary was pretty good. So, yeah, I think that's one of the things with our team is, we have multiple guys that score in double figures and can get 15 points in a game.
What factored into your decision of starting Chauncey tonight?
Yeah, just a coach's decision, just a coach's decision. And I thought Chauncey responded very well. I mean, I'm really pleased. What do you have, 7 rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds. I thought that was significant tonight. It was kind of a night where Ian wasn't rebounding as much on the defensive end. Viktor as well, because we were spread out. So I thought his rebounding was important.
Brad, you talked earlier this week on the teleconference about building relationships with guys
Yeah.
like Chase and Ian. It's so rare in this day and age to have guys that started and end their college career in the same
Yeah.
place. Chase in particular,
Yeah.
6 years. What have those guys meant to this program and meant to you personally?
Yeah, obviously, they mean a lot to all of our coaches, but I have a special relationship with both Chase and Ian. Chase, because of the first couple years were hard, and he and I had a lot of conversations when it wasn't going well, and just encouraging him and trying to get his confidence up because he'd been hurt, and it felt like he'd take a step forward and then 2 steps back, and just couldn't quite get his rhythm. And we were bouncing him around a little, trying to figure out how to play him, the right position. And there were different guys on the team, and so it was like a young guy going through it. Ian was pretty much, I don't want to say a charmed life here, but his sophomore year, middle of his year, he's a starter and he's playing significant minutes, and so he didn't have to wait as long as most freshmen do, maybe. And so, but he worked really hard to do that, and he was a guy that wasn't recruited that heavily, so he had to kind of build confidence his freshman year, and then once he kind of figured it out, just kind of let him go. And there's an appreciation for somebody that plays as hard as he does, right? I mean, it's just, the amount of coaches and fans that come up to me and talk about it, like throughout his career, it's remarkable, right? And I remember telling that to PJ last year, like, you're our best player. You're the guy that probably does the most interviews, scores the most points. But the fans asked me the most about Ian, and it was kind of my way of jabbing him a little bit, like, hey, man, get a few more rebounds, like, because fans appreciate guys that bust it, and they see Ian and don't think he's as good an athlete as he really is, and some of them think, like, I could do that, not really. Like, he's a lot better than you think, and he's a lot more athletic than he gets credit for, and tough and smart, and but to do that every single day, like that consistency is a toughness, right? I mean, like, just it's not always just like knocking somebody down. It's just playing hurt, working at it. He's just really good that way. I mean, he's remarkable, and so it's been a pleasure to coach a guy who gives you everything he has, and he certainly has done that.
I'm going to keep you from watching this game.
It's going bad.
But the ACC tournament always a gauntlet, no matter
Yeah.
when. You guys not having to play until Thursday, that's kind of what kind of an
Yeah, it's
advantage is
good.
that?
Well, it's good. Number one is like tomorrow we're off. We don't have to. The guys can have a day. We can have a day. Kind of regroup, get organized, plan the trip, figure it out. Monday we can know who we're going to play and start our prep and practice. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we have 3 days. We've got coaches that can start to look at the second round stuff. If you happen to win, look at those teams. So it gives you a chance to take a deep breath. We need to enjoy this for tonight. Now tomorrow we'll be on to work again, but like, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm not watching any film tonight. I'm not going to watch 1 second. I'm not even going to watch our game. I'll wait till tomorrow, because 26 wins and 18 league wins it's a hell of an accomplishment. So, yeah, but it helps to not have a day where you have to flip it right back.
What does that mean to you, Brad? Because you beat a record that's established, 30-something years ago, almost 40 years ago, and now to
Yeah.
you got the best.
Yeah. Same thing. I mean, good players, good staff, good people that help you, but obviously because of how long it's been and how much I've, coached here, how long I've coached here, and some good years and some challenging years that I'm appreciative, not just for what we accomplished, but for having the time to be here and do it. And, I'm proud of what we've built. It's not easy. It takes a lot of folks really helping. And, we've done some really, really good things here these last 7 or 8 years, and especially these last 2 or 3.
Season high 23 turnovers forced for you guys tonight. What went well against Virginia?
Yeah, I just thought our on-ball defense was good. I thought we tried to be a little disruptive, and they've got some younger guards. We've got older guys. It was a great environment. I think all those things just, that was part of what we wanted to do in this game, and it was certainly helpful.
Viktor Lakhin, you were talking about how emotional
Yeah.
he was. I mean, did you have to say anything to him? Were you worried?
No, not really. I mean, I said, "You okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm okay, Coach." And but it's funny. Like he and I watched film last night after we had our night meeting, and then he and I watched film for half an hour, and talked about a lot of different things and just things that we do that we've been doing all year. But I think that what is cool for me is sometimes these guys are going to be cool, right? And they're not going to show you how much they care, right, about you. And obviously there was some of that was an appreciation for his coach, I mean, Chase and I tell each other that we love each other before every game. Like we've just been through so much, and I mean, it's not like I love Chase and I don't love the other players. It's just a special bond that we have because we've been through this for 6 years. And Chase and I have been through good times, bad times, great wins, heartbreaking losses, hard seasons, great games by him, poor games by him, just the whole thing. But when you have those special moments with players, a lot of times they come back a couple of years later and they'll say something really nice to you. Like, Coach, man, I'm so thankful that I got to play for you at Clemson or whatever it is, right? Like those moments happen, but they usually happen when they come back. They're not as much like right now. Kids don't want to share that. And so it's, when they do, it's extremely meaningful. And for us to have that with Viktor is, special. And but it's such a kind-hearted kid, right? He's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's fun to be around, and he's emotional and in a good way. Every once in a while, we've talked about it. He can be challenging, but most of the time he's a really caring person. And I'm the funniest thing, the hardest part initially was earning his trust, right? I mean, there's just some of it I think is, cultural, right? But earning his trust took a while. And so that obviously shows that we have it.
Every team has a senior night, but you got Myles made some good plays tonight.
Yeah, great. Myles was
Kelly
great.
hits a three.
Yeah, it was
Makes
awesome.
free throws.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
you hope, right? As I said that to the guys with about 8 minutes to go. I said, hey, we need another good 3 or 4 minutes here so that those guys, and I pointed at the walk-ons, that those guys get a chance to play. Like they deserve to play tonight. And our guys were, super excited that those guys got in. And Myles was terrific, though. And Myles has been unbelievable all year. In fact, I told our team that in the meeting last night, how proud I was of our group, because guys like Myles Foster, who are good players, haven't played as much as he would like, and probably sometimes maybe he should play more. I'll own that. But his attitude has been tremendous, and he's been a hard worker, and he shoots shots after and comes to practice every day. And obviously he's helped us win some games. But he could be a sourpuss if he wanted to. Like, right, he'd have every right to be that, and he hasn't been. And I'm, very thankful and appreciative of him. And even Asa Thomas the same way. Those guys have been unbelievable every day in practice. And again, I think that's why we're having a good team.
What was VT doing from the defensive standpoint to keep you guys on the 3-point line?
Yeah, I need to watch. they did a good job. They played really hard tonight. They were very physical, pressured us a little bit at the high post. I thought we had a handful of looks that we need to make. Jake had 2 wide open ones. Wiggins had a couple wide open ones. But, I don't know that there was anything drastically different, but I do think their contesting and their effort and how hard they played was really good.
Chase and Ian both talked about how important it was for them to lead Clemson better than they arrived.
Yeah.
How do you think they've done that? What have they done to do that?
Well, certainly the last couple of years, the winning, the Elite Eight, and now 18 ACC wins and 26 regular season wins. I mean, that speaks for itself. But more than that is just the way they carried themselves. The respect that they've helped our program earn in the eyes of whether it's fans, whether it's other coaches, players, whoever. Those guys are talked about a lot. Like we get talked about. There's some envy that other people have with your team when they see guys who are Chase Hunter, who'd want to stay around 6 years and care as much as he does and the way he plays and how hard he and Schieffelin plays. They know that there's got to be something in terms of how those kids feel about your school to do that and for those guys to stay 4 years because, they could get more money elsewhere.
Brad, anything you guys can learn from the ACC tournament a year ago? You're obviously playing much better basketball going.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll look at it in terms of our preparation and what we did. If there's anything different in terms of, preparation, we just, we had a very bad night, and Boston College had a really good one, and then they had something to do with it. And I don't think we weren't prepared. We were ready to play. I was more surprised than anybody that we played as poorly as we did. But sometimes that happens. What I think, I was more proud of was the way we responded to it. And in some ways it helped us because we got to come back and we had 2 very difficult days of practice immediately. And then we got to take a day off on Sunday and kind of get our wits about us and, all right, let's go win some games in the tournament. So, all good?
Yes, sir.
Trying to go celebrate. Y'all keep wanting to talk.